composers despite her small amount of work, Michiko Naruke is a Japanese composer most known for creating the Wild Arms soundtracks. It must be noted that while she was composing for the 4th game, she fell ill, marking the first time the soundtrack was not done entirely by her. It should also be noted that she had no work on Wild Arms 5. That was entirely not her work. While Michiko has done music for other games, Wild Arms is her crowning glory, taking on and fully embracing Western-style music that makes the game series so memorable and different from other JRPGs at the time. The music is upbeat, fast, and in your face at times, and was a welcome shift coming from a Super Nintendo era and entering the early days of the PlayStation. While the graphics were a bit interesting, the music really hit home while playing Wild Arms. It blew my mind hearing such a fresh take on gaming music, showing me that music could really flavor a game. While yes, I had been fortunate to hear music from Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, and so on, up until this point, this one really got me as I absolutely loved Western music in films. The best part about Wild Arms was the obvious influence it got from the composer Ennio Morricone, the man famous for his music in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, For a Few Dollars More, and most recently, The Hateful Eight. Think of the most obvious, stereotypical Western tune you can think of. That's his work. Michiko Naruke took some of the most famous scores from Morricone's work, weaving them into the Wild Arms world from the beginning to the later entries of the series. To express this, here's a comparison of the Ecstasy of Gold from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly to Lone Bird in the Shire from Wild Arms. While all of the music has a heavy influence, nothing has been more blatant than that entry. We get another hint of Morricone's music in Wild Arms 4 with the battle theme. It only lasts for a small part of the song, but it's definitely taking from the main theme of The Good, and the Bad, and the Ugly. The game itself has Western film influences, but not entirely. Yes, the main character has a special gun called an arm, and there are a lot of deserts in it, which is a running plot point for most of the Wild Arms games, but the worlds could have been spun differently had it seen a different composer with a different view. The themes in the game are about environment and human influence usually, with an almost sci-fi plot mixed in between. It could have been taken in many directions, and didn't have to be presented in a Western setting, as the music portrays. If the power of the music can change the perception of the game and how it's seen, that's pretty amazing. On to my more personal opinions of the music, I think it's brilliant. The remixes of some songs are some of the best I've heard, and I'm really fussy when it comes to having music rearranged. It's not my most liked thing, but with Wild Arms music, hey, I'll make an exception. The heart of the music is to be loud, bouncy, and gives a sense of what can only be described as a sense of freedom and openness. The fans who have made the songs dedicated to Michiko's beautiful soundtracks capture the same spirit she gave them. Also, the whistling in her songs are amazing! Some of the songs that stand as my all-time favorites would be Wild Arms 1 Town Theme. This song was actually repurposed to be Adelheide's sole song in the Wild Arms alternate code F remake of the first game. While not as cool in that game, it's interesting to see that the song was reserved for that town alone, while others were given an all-encompassing generic song. They must have loved it too much, which I can understand. Another one of my favorites is, and while very silly, the music battle against Liz and Ard, or Toka and Gi in Japanese. It's so hilariously stereotypical sounding, what with the standoffish whistling sound at the beginning, but it has a special place in my heart. And if you don't like that version and want something a bit more hardcore, then look no further than the Wild Arms music, The Best, Rocking Heart, a rearrangement album that has various artists remaking the music from the series. I'll leave you with Liz and Ard's remade song, which is just wow.